Welcome back, everybody. If you haven't joined us before, my name is Terry, and I call my backyard the Painted Garden Farm because it's my little suburban homestead that I'm building, and I'm trying to share with everybody how they can garden and grow food on their own and do things old school in kind of a modern way. So let's get started. Cheers to you. Today I have my Dunkin' mug, but sadly it's not Dunkin' coffee in there. Nectar of the gods. Okay. This is going to be my seed starting rack hack. I got this little shelf set. It was 18 something. It's the U.S. General 4-tier shelf rack. It's a little plastic, one of those garage or basement shelf rack systems, and it will end up in my basement because that is where I'm going to start my seeds. My other supplies are, I'm hearing a terrible feedback noise and I don't know where it's coming from. I am going to pause this video and be back. Sorry for that brief interruption. That horrible squealy, high-pitched, whiny noise I had. I don't know if you could hear it, but I could. For some reason, my lamp that I had over here has an LED bulb in it, and I don't know what my husband put in there for an LED bulb. It might be one that does not belong in a lamp. I don't know. But it was making this really weird, high-pitched noise, so I decided it's time to shut it off. So if my lighting is not great, I apologize for that, but it usually isn't in this house anyway. So anyway, we have U.S. General 4-tier shelving rack that is, it was like $18.99. It was actually less than that because if you shop at Harbor Freight and you give them your email address, they give you coupons, and there's always a coupon for something in there. And the last one was 10% off everything in the store. 10%. 10% was the French version. 10%. Anyway, 10% off of everything, no restrictions, which is unusual. Usually they have certain, everything except this, and this, things you really want. So this is my little rack. It's just plastic shelves, plastic tubes, you pop them together. I also have handy, every man's worst nightmare, a woman with power tools who knows how to use them. Sophie, you're not getting your teeth drilled today. Sorry. Sophie's heard this and ran away. She figures haircut time must be imminent. It's not a you. Okay. And last but not least, from Walmart, I have these, I just felt it slide. I thought it was going to come out of the box. Hyper Tough 24-inch LED under cabinet lights. Which I think are the perfect length, yes, perfect length to go on those shelves. So I'm going to I have 2 of them, so I'm going to have 2 trays of seeds, and God willing they'll fit on there under these lights. So, yeah, hopefully, we'll see. I haven't tried this yet, so hopefully you don't get to watch me do all this work for nothing. And so just so you know what the light looks like, sorry you have to keep seeing the shots of my backside. So the light is just this teeny little thing, this skinny little bulb with the skinny little thing to hold it, and you get some brackets for attaching them under a cabinet, which I'm going to attach them under the shelves, obviously, and you get a cord, and you also get a connector so that you can string these together. I have 2 of them. I can connect them together with this little doohickey here. So I can plug each one into the next. If they reach between the 2 shelves, that is, I can plug them both into one plug. So I'm going to assemble my shelves. Once I have it mostly assembled, and I won't make you watch all that. I mean, it's a very simple assembly job. I will show you how I'm going to attach these lights to this and set up my seed starting trays and show you where I'm going to put them down in the basement, because in the basement, geez, how are you going to grow seeds in the basement? With artificial light, of course. Okay. So, I'll be back with you as soon as I get this shelf together and you can see what it looks like all assembled. Okay, I'm back, and I haven't completely assembled this yet for the simple reason that I have to attach the lights to this before I can put it together. Maybe I don't have to, but I think it'll be easier. But all I've done is stuck 4 feet, little plastic feet thingies, through the bottom holes of one of the shelves, sat it on the floor, stuck 4 of these poles in it, stuck another shelf on top of it, and now I have the last 2 shelves remaining, and I have 4 caps for the top. And it's just as simple as popping things together like that. It's only been about 2 minutes since I signed off. But what I'm going to do, put these caps right here, and now this is the underside of the shelf. It's got cross bases for support. So what I'm going to have to do is hope that these lights will actually fit in this gap between the supports, because I'm starting to wonder if maybe I made an error in judgment doing it this way. But if I have to, I will just put the shelf upside down. I don't care. So let me see. Where is my sample light that I had out of the box already? And if I put this under here, so this is, as you can see, not flat under here. This is not going to screw in underneath this. Not with the screw and brackets that came with this set. So I'm going to have to get creative. Not an unusual phenomenon for me. I usually come up with a great idea and then realize, I didn't check it all out thoroughly. So, I will be back with you again as soon as I figure out exactly how I can make this work. I will make it work. Mark my words. Sorry. Mark my words. Mark them. One thing that I'm glad of is there are grid lines here for where those lines are underneath, because I need this light to kind of be centered for aiming it at the plants. So that works for me. And so we're going to go from there. And I think what I'm going to try to do is work out something with zip ties. Zip ties are handy little things. So I'll be back in a flash. Okay, so the plan I had is not going to work, and I don't have any zip ties. So I have to figure something out. I'm either going to have to get some zip ties, figure out another plan. I know I can still make this work, and I will be back as soon as I figure it out. It might be tomorrow, and I will have it. I will get this all together, I promise, and we will have, and one thing I did, since I clipped off last time, I said, well, before I drive myself nuts attaching to these lights, to these shelves, let me make sure of the other question I had, and I took one of my seed starting trays and set it in here, and it fits perfectly, perfectly. So I got the absolute right shelves for doing this. It's just that attaching lights to them the way I planned isn't going to work out. So, plan B. And as soon as I know what plan B is, I will be back. Okay. So here we are 2 days later. And of course my lighting's still lousy. But, so remember I was trying to find a plan B? Well, I found one, and it actually was what should have been my plan A. You know, sometimes that's how things work out. And I have, so I'm going to show you what I did. And you're not going to have to see me because I can't show you what I did and show you me at the same time. So, but I am really here. Hi! And I got a boo-boo doing it. Oh. Okay, so I have attached my light instead of, my plan was to attach it directly to these shelves underneath. Couldn't do that because there are baffles under there. So obviously you can't screw something to a surface that is not flat. So I was also concerned before even with coming up with the idea, because these are thin and these screws don't have like a you know, a washer and nut on the other side. They're not little bolts, they're just screws that are very shallow and they're meant for going into the bottom of a cabinet. So what I did is got some boards, and these are scrap boards from pallets and the like, packing materials, so they didn't cost me a dime, and I mounted my light fixtures to them as if it was the underside of a cabinet. They have these little clips, which while I was screwing it in, that spun around, and that's what gave me my boo-boo. And I put on the opposite side these tiny little eye hooks that, just my hand for reference of the size, that's my pinky. And those tiny little eye hooks are from a picture hanging kit. So it was something I already had in the house, and I always thought, well, what am I ever going to use those tiny little eye hooks for? But you never throw anything out when you're a homesteader, even in wannabe mode. So as you can see here, I have some jute twine, and as you might be able to see here, if I get out of the way and stop casting a shadow, I have drilled holes into the surface on either side of the baffle of the shelf, and the same on this end. And Sophie says hello. Hello, Sophie, what you doing? Okay, so we have holes that are made for hanging, and now I'm going to hang these light fixtures with the jute twine. I'm going to loop it through the eye hooks, thread it through the holes on the shelf, and tie it off. Now the reason I said this is what should have been my plan all along, not only is it going to be, you know, the best way to attach the lights to something, but the lights need to be close to the seedlings, the plants, when they start out. If they're too high, the seedlings are going to get leggy trying to reach for the light. So the light has to be close. Now as the seedlings progress and get taller, the lights are going to have to get raised up. So, you know, here little seedlings, you have your light real close, and then they start to grow, and you need still to be close, but still has to be above them. So what all I have to do is shorten the strings. I can pull it up, I can put something under it, or I can untie the knot and make it shorter. So I am going to go and finish assembling this and show you my final results, and then you'll see what the heck I am talking about. So stay tuned. Okay, so now we're down in the laundry room. I've moved my operation down here because I figured it's easier to finish setting it up where it's going to be. So as I showed you before, I have these little eye hooks on the back of this board, and I've attached my light fixture to the bottom of the board. And see the strings? The strings come up to holes that I drilled in this, and I've loosely tied them in a knot for now, because this is going to need to be, this light fixture is going to be needing to be raised and lowered according to how tall the seedlings are. And I did find my plastic domes that go over the top of the seed trays, which I'm thrilled about because I really need them, and that'll help hold the moisture in, but that's on the seed video, so I'll tell you about that later. So again, I have one more shelf to set up the same way. I have my light fixture attached here. I have my little eye hooks. This piece of wood was part of packaging for an appliance, so it's it was glued to cardboard for shoring that up for an appliance. So my light fixture is here, and I want to make sure that the plug side is on this end. And there's my next shelf. So all I have left to do is drill the holes in this shelf, attach it to this shelf as the top tier, and attach my light fixture, and I will be all set for starting seeds. And I will show you the whole thing in just a minute when it's all done. Okay, just in case you weren't clear on how I did this, so I've got my 2 holes up here. I put one end of my jute twine. Sorry, there's a picture of it. So one end of my jute twine I've threaded down through here. The other end is here. And I'm doing this one-handed while I hold the camera. So I'm threading my other end of my jute twine through the eye hook, and then it's going to go up and through the other hole, which, let's see if I can do that while I hold the camera and feel around under here with my hand. Ah, look at, there it is. And the only trick is grabbing hold of it without it falling through. There we go. So now I have my 2 ends, and I'll just put a loose knot, but as you can see, I can just pull it up here, raises it up here to the height I'm going to want it. So down here, I just sort of guesstimated how high the thing is going to be with the dome, because where I've done this before, I have a pretty good idea, and I can always adjust it if I have to before I put the next tray here. The only issue I'm going to have is if I decide I need to raise them up higher, which I probably will at some point, then I'm going to have to take whatever seed tray is on this level off just to make the adjustment for the bottom one, and then put it back and make the adjustment for the top one. And meanwhile, down below and up above, I will have storage space, and I could possibly even put something up here that doesn't need, I don't feel needs quite as bright a light. Possibly, but not probably. But I could, maybe put something on top of here, or at some point when I feel like the seedlings are big enough that, they could maybe take a day or 2 in here before I put them outside if there's, bad weather or whatever. Plants get cloudy days where they don't get quite as much light. They can sit in here for a day or 2 while if we get a chill coming or something. And then when I'm all done with this, I will probably take the shelf, take the seed starting lights off of it and put it somewhere else for storage, maybe the shed or something, or maybe next year use it in a little greenhouse. So again, once more, I will be back when it's all assembled. Okay, and here we have it. So here's my shelf with my light hanging. The other light is a little crooked, but I figure I'll adjust that once I get the seed tray on there, because this one might be up too high. It might be just perfect, I don't know. But again, I'm guesstimating. I have my heat mats on here, and they're plugged in down there on a power strip that goes into my one outlet there. This will go further back against the wall, make sure we don't have issues using the dryer. Shouldn't be any problem. So we're good to go. And each of these lights, they can be strung together if I was willing to take this apart at the end, but I wasn't. I can just shut them off for now until I get them down here with my seed trays, which I am going up to make a video about starting seeds right now. So thank you again for watching. I hope you'll hit like. I hope you'll subscribe if you're not subscribed already.
And I hope you will follow Painted Garden Farm Redone and Homespun on Facebook. Thank you for joining me again, and I will see you next time.